Hey everyone, we're Chris and Sandy with the Chris and Sandy Show, where we get up close and personal, some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like us on every episode, we got a great one for you. Who do we have?
Today, we're joined by actor Evan Nikolas Fields, who stars as Flynn in the Wayfinders from Angel Studios. You may also recognize him from the hit Netflix film He's All That and several other popular TV shows. The pilot is available now with new episodes coming soon.
And we're excited to have him on the show.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. That was a great extra introduction. I appreciate it.
No problem. So what initially drew you to the Wayfinders and to the character of Flynn?
You know, I love Flynn. We share common interests. He's definitely a gamer, and I'm a gamer. And,
yeah.
We share the same emotions, definitely. Like, at first he doesn't have enough confidence in himself, and he definitely lacks his ability to feel that he could do certain things. And at some points in my life, I feel like I've done the same, and I feel like that's how we connected on that level.
Well, so how has the role of Flynn challenged you?
It's definitely challenged me in a way where, there's certain scenes that I need to uncover certain emotions, and, I just have to use that uncertainty within the scene. So that's how it definitely challenged me at some points playing him.
So how do you prepare for that?
How do I prepare for that? That's a good question. So this is actually a good story. So I have a castmate. His name's Sam Buchanan. He actually plays Evan in the show. And he is a classically trained actor, went to drama school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I could tell that, he could tell that I was a bit nervous during this particular scene. I don't want to give away too much, but he asked if we wanted to go over it, and we were staying in the same apartment in Ireland. So he came over, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to have to perform this scene for him. I'm a bit nervous, I looked up to him, and he comes over, and, I didn't even do the scene. He was just teaching me certain breathing techniques and kind of to calm your nerve, body, and soul. And we did that for 30 minutes. And I wrote it all down on a piece of paper. And, after, basically he said it just teaches you to just calm your emotions, and whatever happens during the scene happens. So I did it on the day, and I felt so calm, relaxed, and that's really how I got through it. So it was really all thanks to him.
So is it more scary to you, or you get more nervous when you're performing like that to somebody versus in the camera?
Definitely. So I would rather perform in front of 1,000 people I don't know than 10 people I do know. It just makes you way more nervous.
I understand that. Yeah.
Before I acted on camera, I did a good amount of theater, and we would have certain shows, and sometimes my parents and my family would come to certain shows, and obviously there's so many that they didn't come to all of them. But I was more nervous for when my parents were there and my family and friends, because they always sat in the first 2 rows. So I was just I can't look any of them in the eye. I just have to look straight.
So what's a moment on set of Wayfinders that something happened and it just caused everybody to get off character?
So there's this thing on a lot of sets. It's called the giggles. Whatever you do, you just can't get rid of them. And, everyone gets them at some point. I get them, one of my castmates, Vince, he got them at one time. And usually when someone has the giggles and then you have a scene with them and you look them directly in the eye, there's nothing else you can do but besides it's just contagious. You just laugh up a storm. And the first or second time it's funny, but then the third or fourth time you're now you're wasting time, and but sometimes you just can't get over it. I think I'd had a scene with Vince, who plays Cash in the show. And, we had to take 5 or 6 takes because we just couldn't stop laughing. And then that kind of just puts everyone off kilter. And, you just got to get through it. But it's sometimes really hard.
So whatever you're going through in your life right now, what do you think your character Flynn would advice to you would be?
That's a good question. I would just say trust in your abilities. At first he doesn't believe in himself. And then, as the show progresses, he gets more and more confident. So I would just say trust in your abilities.
Love that. So take us back. What was that moment growing up that when you started auditioning and all that, that you had that aha moment that was like, wow, this could be a career?
Definitely. Another good question. So I kind of started acting on a whim. So, what I mean by that is in middle school, we had to pick our electives.
Mhm.
And obviously, I was a procrastinator at the time, and I waited the very last minute to pick my elective. So, my very first choice was art, because at the time I really liked drawing and painting and anything that had to do with that world. But that was full, right? So can't do art anymore. Wait till the last minute. School starts in like less than a week. My second option was horticulture, and they had this cool program at your school where you could learn how to plant trees and learn about manure and things of that nature. That was full. So then the only other option was this kind of like choir and drama combo. So like first semester you do choir, and then second semester you would do drama. So I signed up for that. It was not full. So I was like, okay, just need to pick something. So the first semester I did choir. It was cool. You learn how to, sing from your diaphragm, things in that nature. But then the second semester was drama, and I had a really cool teacher who I still talk to today. His name's Hank Amigo, Mr. Amigo. And he had a really good drama program at the school I went to at the time. And it was just a regular drama class, introduction to improv. But he knew that most of the kids didn't want to do drama. So he basically formed it as like how to get over stage fright and talk in front of an audience and, man the stage. So we did things like in that nature. We had to like lip sync to a song and dance, kind of just like get over stage fright. So I did that. I did a Michael Jackson song, and that year I was Michael Jackson for Halloween. So I brought my glove and I was like, okay, I really want an A in this class. So, I'm just going to leave it all on the stage. So that's what I did. And then he asked to talk to me after class. I did. And he basically said, you should audition for play production. And I never really thought of doing anything in theater or acting whatsoever. I was in middle school. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but that was definitely not one of them. So I obliged. I was like, sure. He was pretty persistent. Like he kept asking me. I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I auditioned. I don't remember the audition process. I know we had to sing a song, and he gave us a bit of a cold reading scene. But I auditioned, and just it's like out of a movie. Like they put the list of people who made it on the door, and everyone's like racing to the door. But really, it wasn't like my dream to be in play production. So everyone's like the door and just like leisurely walking. And like, if I make it, great. If I don't, great. But I ended up making it. So I was in play production 7th and 8th grade. Did a few plays. And then I think my aha moment, back to your question, was probably like 8th grade. I was doing a play, and I was like, you know what? I'm really enjoying this. I feel like I can do this. And then I told my mother about it. And, a friend of a friend, we live in Los Angeles. So it's like less than 8 degrees of separation. If you know something like,
probably less than 2 degrees there.
Exactly. It literally was 2. It's like my mom's hairdresser's friend knows someone who's an agent. And he's actually my agent today, Reynard, still.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got the agent. And that's really when I started auditioning, was probably like 7th, 8th grade.
So with your auditions, has there ever been a role that you didn't get, and then when it come out, you realize, oh, I see why I didn't get it?
Yeah, there are a couple of those moments. I don't remember the exact ones, but when you're watching something on television, you're kind of like, I sworn I auditioned for this, but the way the character looked and like the ambiance of everything in the show, I could be, I could be honest with myself and be like, Yeah, I could see why. I wouldn't have done that justice, you know?
Love that honesty there. Um, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, being on TV and all that, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles, the negativity, everything that goes along with the industry. Nobody really talks about this side of it. On our show, we do, because I think it's the most important thing to talk about out there, so people can know before they step into this, there is a sacrifice. So tell us about that side of it.
Definitely the nitty gritty. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of sacrifice. I mean, when I was in not middle school, when I was in high school, I ended up transferring to another school, which is like an independent study program, so I could focus more on the acting and go out to auditions and things in that nature. So, you know, some people could say you can miss out on like the high school experience, things like that. I didn't really mind, but you know, that could be, you know, a downfall for some people, or just, you know, the amount of no's you get in your life, especially as like an adolescent, and you kind of just want to like, you know, fit in. But, you know, there's still a positive to it. You know, I believe that at a young age, I developed tough skin. You know, I've heard no so many times, where it's like, you know, you kind of just have a chip on your shoulder about it. And, you know, you realize that you can't take anything to heart, like how we we're talking about in the last question, how, you know, you weren't right for this character, you know, and you also have to remember that they're looking for something so specific.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your acting ability whatsoever. You could be like, they could tell you, oh, we love what you did with this character, but we need someone with blonde hair. Like it could be down to the nitty gritty like that. So like you said, there are some negatives to it, but you know, we love what we do and we're willing to do it. But you know, there are obviously some positives as well. Even if you don't make it to the very top, I think there are still some positives for sure.
Yeah, that's, you know, talking about the rejection. That's just like with this show. I reach out to people all the time, trying to get people on, and trying to break through that next level is tough. And I probably, when I'm booking shows, I probably send out every month 100 to 300 emails, and I might book 3 to 4 out of that. And it's like and most don't respond back. Some respond back, say no thanks at this time. Some is like, well, now is not the right time, but maybe 3 months from now. So I'll put that down. But again, there's a lot of that with that. So going through that kind of rejection, because I know you go through even more, how do you handle that?
Handling rejection is tough sometimes, but I feel like when you've been doing it for so long, especially when you're a child, you kind of just get used to it. But when you actually see it on paper, like how many auditions you've actually went out for, how many callbacks you get, and I never really looked at it like that until I was on set. I was in a couple episodes of this show called Players on Paramount Plus, and I met this guy there. His name's Luke Tenney. He's really cool. He's actually like now he's on Shrinking and Abbott Elementary, but he used to carry around like this dingy looking like composition notebook, and he'd like roll it up and always have it in his back pocket. And soon I gained enough courage to ask him, like, what is that notebook? And he was like, oh, I keep track of every single audition I've ever been on in here. I was like,
oh, wow.
Like, do you mind if I see it? He's like, yeah, sure. And he'll have like the date he went out for the audition, what the audition was for, did he get a call back on it? And it was just, I mean, this composition book was like 3/4 full. And that was just for like the last 2 years. And he like broke it down. He was like, I went on, I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, I went on 237 auditions. Out of those 237 auditions, I've got 37 callbacks. And out of those 37 callbacks, I got a second callback or a producer director session. And out of that, I booked 3. So it's like, you can really see the quote unquote rejection and like, but you know, so people don't see the 234 auditions, but they see the three wins.
Yeah.
And really you're happy just for 3, you know?
And really you're happy with just 1 if it's a major role.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And sometimes it only takes one, and then the snowball effect. So it's really cool to see, for him to see that, and for me to see that, just like statistically how tough it could be. But the three that he got were great. So he was happy regardless, It makes
Yeah.
makes up for the 234. I think it was more, honestly. I'm not doing him justice, but it was crazy to see that progression.
Wow. A lot of people, they see you, but they don't see the team around you. In our opinion, teams never get love. On our show, they get love. So take a few moments and just tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Definitely. So my team's pretty large. I mean, when you're acting, you definitely have a large team. It takes a village, that's what they say. But so I have my manager. So they're at ESI Networks, and that is Garrett and Nelson. And then I have my agent, who I've told you about previously. I met when I was much younger. His name's Raynard Pearson at Work Talent. And now I have a PR team at Katz Production. That's
Yeah,
like
we love them.
Taja, Melanie, everyone over there is great. And honestly, like the showrunners of Wayfinders and the producers, like Kynan, Justin, am I forgetting anyone? Jason, Jessica, like there's so many people. So it definitely takes a village for sure.
You're talking about the PR people. Let's tell you a little thing. When we first launched the show, I'll be honest, I thought, why do I need to go through a PR person if I know the person? I kind of hated that route. And now that's flipped. Now I realize you get better quality people.
Definitely.
You get more people. You get they're trained and all that. So now it's almost like if someone comes to me and they don't have a PR team, I get a little nervous.
Yeah, I can understand that. And it's probably easy for you because when a certain PR person reaches out to you, they have a whole bunch of people in their Lyridex. So they could just be like throwing you people left and right rather than just one person.
Yeah, makes it a lot easier.
Yes, it does.
Speaking
for both parties.
Exactly.
Yes.
Speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our 13-year-old, who's about to be 14.
He's about to be 14 next month.
He likes to ask a couple questions.
I'll get him.
So Sandy's going to go get him.
Awesome.
Now, while we wait for him, what's kind of next for you?
Next for me. So I'm honestly just focused on the Wayfinders right now, but any opportunity that comes my way, I'm definitely going to take it. And you all will be the first to know for sure.
So what's 2026 for you right now?
2026. So I go back to Ireland to shoot the second half of season 1 for the Wayfinders. And, I'm just super excited about that because the last time I was there, just the people I was working with, the locations we were shooting on, it was all incredible. So I'm really excited to go back, and I'll be there for 3-4 months. So it'll be a good little chunk of time there.
Love that.
All right. Hey, Evan. So what's your favorite food?
My favorite food. Ooh, that's a really good question. These are the hard-hitting questions.
He gets the fun questions.
I do really like sushi. I don't want to sound so LA, but I do really like sushi.
Oh.
So what's yours?
Mine's pizza.
Pizza. So, okay, when we're talking about pizza, there's like so many different variations. We have like deep dish. You have Chicago. We have New York thin. You got the Pizza Hut has like cheesy crust. Like what are you into?
I just like any type of pizza, really. Pizza, pepperoni, sausage. I just like any type of pizza, really. Doesn't matter what.
That's valid. That's a very valid answer. So like all toppings. You're not just a cheese guy.
I like all the toppings on it. That's me.
Okay, I could do toppings. I don't know if this will offend you, but I'm more like I just like straight cheese, like a thin.
I mean, straight cheese ain't too bad either, though.
Our 6-year-old daughter, Caitlin, that you met earlier, she won't eat anything unless it's cheese pizza. If you got anything on it, she won't eat it.
I mean, I totally understand that. I have nothing against that. That's me.
All right, I have another question. So what's the coolest experience you've had on your journey so far?
The coolest experience. Probably this one, like going to Ireland, like working abroad. I mean, it was super cool just because we were filming on location. So we were filming, like we went to the Cliffs of Moher. We went to and filmed at a bunch of older like castles and buildings. It's just cool to see that just because I'm from, like the US, which like if you're comparing it to Europe isn't as old. So there aren't like 1,000-year-old ancient castles, just on the side of the road, which was just really cool experience.
Love that.
Oh yeah, that's it for questions.
Thank you for the questions. I appreciate it.
Oh
Those are
yeah,
the ones.
definitely.
So, who is Evan? If somebody was to ask you who you are, what would your answer be?
That's a good question. Who is Evan? I would say Evan is a charismatic actor who, cares about his craft and is just willing to do whatever it takes to get to the next level.
I love that. So if you could co-star with any actor or actress, who would it be?
Another good question.
And what role would you want to play?
Okay, I was just talking about this the other day. I always, Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite movies. So just, being in a heist film would be incredible. And people I want to work with, who I look up to, I really like David Johnson. He's a British actor. He was like in The Long Walk, He's in a show called Waste Man. He's really incredible. He's super cool. I really also like Austin Abrams. He's been in a lot. He was like in Euphoria. He was just in Weapons. And I'm discrediting him because he's been in so much more, but those are like the most recent things. So definitely those people and in a heist movie.
Would you be the robber?
Who would I be the villain? Villain would be cool. I'd probably be like the Grease Man or something. I'm trying to compare it to Ocean's 11. Definitely like the Grease Man, someone who gets their hands dirty, who's really like the Don Cheadle character. He kind of just works with all the explosives and things like that. I feel like that's my lane.
So what's a current or past show that you wish you had a role in?
That's really good. I'm a huge fan of The Office. So if I could have had a role in The Office, that'd be really cool. Or Breaking Bad. I mean, these are huge shows, but those are just some of my favorites. I really enjoy. So that would be really cool. I don't know who I'd be in Breaking Bad, but it would just be cool to be in that experience.
Love that. So where do you want to be in 5 years?
5 years. Another good question. I was just thinking about this the other day. I definitely want a few more roles under my belt. Probably a feature film and a couple of TV shows for sure.
So let's look down the road and let's say you're a success on a grand scale. Whatever that looks like for you, you can honestly say you're there. What do you hope you never forget along that journey?
Just never forget where you came from and just always be hungry and, treat people with respect always, No one's above anyone. Everyone's equal and everyone, shares an equal part in, creating something special for sure.
So the last question as we close out, I'm going to make it a 2-part since you kind of been doing this since a young age. When, I'll do the parent part first. Let's say what advice would you give that parent that has a child that wants to do what you do?
I would say obviously let them follow their dreams, help them as much as, you can. For me, that would be like, before I had a manager, I definitely had a momager, and she definitely, oversaw things and, took me on set and, was vigilant and made sure everything was going right. Or that'd be for my dad where, he would drive me to countless auditions. And this is not like my father who just doesn't have a job. I mean, he
Yeah.
would come home from a full day's work from like, he's an athletic director at a school. So, he would leave the house at 7, be back by 5 or 4, get off early. And I'd be like, hey, can you drive me to Hollywood at 4:30, which is like the worst traffic possible? And he wouldn't even bat an eye. He would just be like, yeah, of course, I'll drive you there. And we'd be in traffic for an hour, get down there. I'd be in the room for 5-10 minutes. We'd go get something to eat, try to let traffic die down. And he would drive me back. So, just help them in any way they can. And, sometimes you have to let them, fall on their face sometimes, but, always be there for them for sure.
And let's close out with, what advice would you give that person that wants to do what you do?
Definitely. I would just say enjoy the journey for sure. There's going to be hardships and struggle, but, you deserve to see what's on the other side and to keep going and, never give up on your dream for sure.
I love that. We enjoyed having you on the show today, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. I love the questions.
Right,
this is really my first interview. So you're
oh, wow.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We're definitely honored to be your first.
Thank you. I'm honored as well. I appreciate it.